So ingredients. Okay. So the safest way to know that your ingredients are okay is one ingredient foods. And when I say one ingredient foods, that means meat. Cheese. I guess cheese is not one ingredient. Usually in cheese, you're going to find the same 3 ingredients, which is going to be milk, enzymes that make the cheese, and salt. So once you start getting into all of these long words, especially when they put in parentheses what vitamin that is, a lot of the time it's synthetic vitamins. So having synthetic vitamins added to your food is not necessarily a good thing. I know people think, oh my gosh, it's so nutritious that has vitamin C added. Yeah. But what's the source of that vitamin C? That's a question that you might want to know.
That is a great question.
Okay, so a big example of that is almond milk. People are like, oh, how fancy. They add so much fake vitamins to my almond milk. How sweet. Yeah. That's sweet. Thanks, sweet. But it's not sweet because those vitamins are synthetic. And once you discover things like MTHFR, which is extremely common, and I'm not going to get into it, but basically it's a gene mutation that a lot of people, I think it's like 1 out of 2 people have this mutation. What you'll find is that you can't have synthetic vitamins like folic acid, which is the synthetic form of B9. If I have that right, which is folate. And people are always like, what's the difference between folic acid and folate? Well, folate is the naturally occurring form of B9 that can be used by the body. But somebody had a genius idea to make it synthetic, and that is folic acid. Yep. Folic acid. A lot of the times, your body just can't process it, especially if you have MTHFR. You don't have a way to process it, and it can just build up in the liver, which is super bad.
Well, last year, whenever we or a year and a half ago or whatever, when we were going to the doctor for Finny Guy, they didn't know the difference between folic acid and folate, the doctors. So this is actually kind of like a not common thing, either taught in medical school or nutrition school or whatever, because these doctors were like, yeah, you need to take folic acid. Well, folic acid stays in your bloodstream. Like, it doesn't get processed.
If you have MTHFR, which they're saying minimally 1 out of 2 people do.
Yeah, and you have the
you can't convert it, so it just sits. You have both
genes, right?
I have 2 copies.
Yeah, and then I have 1, I think.
I think most people have at least 1 copy.
Yeah.
But they'll never test you for it unless you go pay cash at a functional medicine doctor. Yeah.
Yeah.
So where this sort of came about, where we started investigating ingredients, is I was being presented nutrition facts for our supplements, and they weren't adding up and they weren't making sense. And so I started having them dig into, what is this? How come these numbers aren't coming back? Why is there that many calories? Why are there that many carbs? And I kept getting answers that were kind of like, well, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I don't really like that as an answer. I want to know why this is coming back. Like, why are there 2 carbohydrates, blah, blah, blah. And so then we started learning that ingredients have ingredients. And that was sort of like, okay, this is what people don't know, and this is so sad, and they don't have to disclose it. But food companies don't have to tell you what the ingredients are of their ingredients. And it's extremely frustrating. And what it basically does is forces you as the consumer to add up the nutrition facts and find the discrepancies. And this is what you have to do. You sort of have to look and go, there's no sugar, there's no this, there's no that. Well, then why are there 14 carbohydrates? So then you have to dissect the ingredients and go, oh crap, that's coming from the blah, blah, blah. Now, here's where this gets crazy. I had an argument with this lady online recently. She is very respected in our community, in our keto community, and she's a big opinion leader. And she was preaching to everybody something on these nutrition facts. And I was like, okay, but I just want you to explain to me where those carbohydrates are coming from, because everything you're saying should tell me there's no maltodextrin in this product, but there's 2 carbs. What are the carbs in, right? Yeah. It was electrolytes. This was before we had our electrolytes.
Have carbs and electrolytes.
Okay, this is my question. So then she said it's coming from the citric acid.
Yeah.
I weigh out our ingredients. So we work with a chemist to develop all of our formulas, but I'm able to actually sit in on the mixing of all the formulas, right? If you took the amount of citric acid and weighed it out, it is scientifically impossible for it to come out to 2 carbohydrates. It is she goes, it's citric acid. Well, I said, okay, citric acid is one of the most sour powders that exist on planet Earth, right? So you have to use, so like for this, for instance, is 1 scoop of electrolytes with the citric acid. So the citric acid, it's like this. Like
tiny amounts.
Not even. Now tell me how that's 2 carbohydrates. It isn't, right? So that leaves you as a consumer, you have to learn that when you look and you see discrepancies, you know that there's something they're not telling you. There is ingredients in those ingredients. Now recently we got into an argument with one of our suppliers that we were using because we asked them to please disclose the discrepancies. And you know what they said to us? By law, we don't have to.
Yeah. I actually have the documentation.
That's super messed up.
We don't have to tell you. When you order, if you think you're ordering, I'm going to use an example, almond flour, right? And you're ordering almond flour from a supplier and you go and you get your 50-gallon tank or whatever of almond flour. Yeah. And then you say, hey, can you please let me know what else is in this almond flour? We, by the FDA requirements, we do not have to tell you.
I don't have to tell you.
That was basically what it was.
The FDA protects us. So this morning I did a little comparison on our chocolate greens nutrition facts, which is 1 net carb, 0 sugar, 10 calories, 15 calories, versus what we grew up drinking, Nesquik.
I remember that.
Stop. Why would we eat the powder for fun? I hate that. Why would we just pour the powder down our throats?
Dude.
Dear God.
Dude. Oh my God. I'm now realizing my entire childhood
was a lie.
It was a lie. Fruity Pebbles, which are basically just like sugar flakes, Cocoa Puffs.
Stop, I'm calling the police.
Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Captain Crunch. I'm now realizing I could probably say I've never been this healthy. Not that I don't have more weight to lose. I've lost 60 pounds. I have about another 30.
Throw that in there for some admiration.
But yes, some self-promotion there, some uncharacteristic self-promotion. But I am now realizing as a kid, the things you feed your kids, Honey Nut Cheerios and oh my, you're just because you said the Nesquik, it made me think of Cocoa Puffs, which made me think of Trix, which made me think of Captain Crunch and like literal Cookie Crisp, which is cookies for breakfast.
Shrunk with added fake folic acid to make you think it's okay.
How do we not realize? And they do that. How is it legal to do an ad that says part of this balanced breakfast?
Yeah.
Hey, that leads me to the next thing. They're now labeling, they have forced in Mexico the removal of characters on cereal boxes because it's baiting children for an unhealthy lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
You remember Daddy Daycare?
Yes.
You remember when the corporation is like, he's looking at the box and he goes, this makes me think sugar. I don't want to feed my kids this. This is just pure sugar. What parent's going to want to do this? And then the guy's like, well, of course, yeah, every parent's going to think that until the kid yells and screams and bashes their head against the ground and demands the parent get them this cereal.
I forgot because it's so normal.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what that is. So good on Mexico because I'm sure that's what we think about, like, oh my God, the silly rabbit, tricks are for kids. Like, who thought of that? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It's most likely some, eyes wide shut party corporate boardroom guy.
Yeah.
That's just going like, yo, these kids are going to break the cart and tear the aisle apart.
And they do.
Yeah.
And they do. I will tell you right now, prior to keto, and my kids are keto-ish, I want to say, please don't call child services, because they eat tons of fruit and everything else. And I know like pretty much they've made it like where you're not allowed to do anything. Your kids have to be on a standard American diet or else. Anyways, let me just get that out there. You can just clip that out. But yes, they do. Prior to us converting to a healthy lifestyle, my kids absolutely would throw crazy tantrums if I wouldn't get them the super high volume.
Do you remember when Paris, our little sister, didn't eat for 8 days because she couldn't have frozen chicken nuggets?
Oh.
I don't remember, but I would tell you, going through what I've been through with my kids, that I'm not surprised.
She lost 24 pounds or something like that.
Yeah,
she refused to eat.
Yeah.
Unless it was the frozen chicken nuggets.
That's a long time. So that's a long time. Anyways, I want to tell you the other part of that story. They also have now in Mexico put symbols on there that say excess calories, excess sugar, and other things. And I'm just like, why can we not do that here? Right. And of course, everybody already knows the answer to that. You can read the comments on my Instagram post. It's pretty easy to understand why America has not done that yet. Mm-hmm. It's all about the money, money, money. We just want your money, money, money.
That's right.
Anyway, I went off on a little tirade there. I got mad. I started yelling. I was like a news anchor from network.
It's like too, for like the people who are newer to my channel, we do not have cheat days. We don't have cheat meals. We don't. So Jonathan is like purely joking.
Yeah. It's never happened.
We don't do it. I'm going to tell you why. I took a survey. 80% of people who have a cheat meal, it is the end of their journey.
Yeah.
If they're on their health journey or weight loss journey, consider that the end. Mm-hmm. 80% of people, I say to the 20% of you who it doesn't throw you off track, congratulations. But understand that if you are the one in the 80%, you are normal. There is nothing wrong with you. The food is designed to be addicting. The food is designed to keep your brain asking for more. And so there's nothing wrong with you. And don't you dare let anybody tell you that there is. Boom.
Amen.
Yeah. I mean, this is obviously an over dramatization, but getting mad at yourself because you're having a hard time quitting delicious foods is a bit like saying like, well, I took crack and it affected me. It shouldn't have affected me.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. I don't waste time arguing with these other influencers anymore, but they say every day, moderation, moderation, moderation. Yeah. The argument is that, bro, your little moderation with breakfast, lunch, dinner, the toothpaste, the shampoo, the conditioner, the chemicals you're using to clean your car and your house, your little moderation adds up to a lot of chemicals on a daily basis. And if it's once a day and making your brain go on this crazy glucose roller coaster. By the way, the guy who did this blood sugar experiment, he is a perfectly healthy, metabolically healthy, and always has been individual. And that's why he is so important in this community, because he's saying, I am not unhealthy. I am healthy. And this is the way it affects me. Yeah. Imagine someone who is unhealthy, what it does to them, right? Because if it goes bing, bing to him, you know that in someone like me, that's going to basically take me out for the day. If it does that to him, you know?
Went from like 90 to 170 or something like that.
Something crazy.
Yeah,
something
that's
insane.
A lot of sugar in the blood.
And people go, oh, a little spike is normal. Yeah, that's not a little spike, first of all. And second of all, it's a mountain. Second of all, your body should be able to take it up, bring it back down, take it up, bring it back down. If it does this at a normal level, then you don't end up with insulin resistance. But too big of a spike too often is what leads you to insulin resistance.
And these are the foods that create, I call it food addiction. I think it should be communicated more about this because, people see cigarettes and they say addiction, and addiction has a really negative connotation. And it should, because your body is actually addicted to this stuff. But foods are extremely, extremely addictive. And, whenever you're actually getting on clean keto or carnivore and you're getting rid of all these foods, you're actually getting rid of an addiction.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It is. And you don't know. And I want to ask you, I'm going to ask both of you.
Okay.
Yes.
I have not had the desire to have a donut or a pizza one time. What about you?
So, no, because you've basically covered a lot of bases with the books. And so if we ever wanted some sort of dessert, we can make it keto.
Yeah.
And you have keto pizza and the cheese crust. Keto pizza, that is the best.
Fathead dough.
So I personally haven't, because I know that anytime we want it, we can just have a keto version of it. Right. And it tastes better than the synthetic version anyways.
It's true. And you don't feel like crap after, which is my favorite part.
That is my favorite part.
Anyways, what about you, since you've been like really strict on it? Not counting before.
Yeah, I would say surprisingly a little bit more so after doing full OMAD. And I think what that is for me more than anything is that there is a oral fixation with eating. Mm-hmm. So when you're only eating once a day, and I'm OMAD. I'm not like a 4-hour eating window. I have essentially half an hour, at most an hour, to eat. everything and it is one meal.
Yeah.
It's sometimes huge, sometimes small. I think for me, it's more about I want to put something in my. It sounds
no. I've talked about it.
Mouth.
Oral fixation, where you're just constantly,
I wanna have something in my mouth. I want to do something. Maybe I'm bored or something like that. But I want to eat, and I don't. Yeah, sure. It could be pizza. It could be donuts. Could be whatever. Right? If it was a steak, I'd want to do that. But obviously, when you want something, not because you're hungry, because I'm not hungry. Right? I mean, what is it? It's 2:00 right now. I haven't eaten at all today, and I'm not hungry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not tired. I'm full of energy. But like,
that's the best part. Not getting tired from the food you eat. Anyway,
I woke up at 5:00 this morning just because
spring chicken.
My body, and my body was just like, "Yo, you're done sleeping," and I was like, "Yeah, bump it up, doop, dap, dip, scap, do." Anyway,
that's my favorite part of keto, by the way.
Yeah.
But when I was doing 2 meals a day, or an 8-hour window, or a 4-hour window, I had almost none of that. I think it's less so about the fact that it is a donut or it is a whatever, and more just so like I want food, because I want food, not because I'm hungry. I just want food because I want food to want food.
That's why